This is the story of Lot, a man of faith in a city of sin.
Hello, and welcome back to TIV's Media. Today, we are diving deep into one of the Bible's most dramatic and thought-provoking stories, the life of Lot. Who was he? What happened to his family? And what can we learn from his incredible journey? Let's explore the story of a man caught between divine judgment and personal choice. Our story begins in Genesis, where we meet Lot as the nephew of Abraham, the patriarch of faith. When God called Abraham to leave his homeland, Lot went with him. They traveled together from Ur of the Chaldees to the land of Canaan. Genesis 13 tells us that both Abraham and Lot became very wealthy, with so many flocks and herds that the land couldn't support them both living side by side. Their shepherds began to quarrel over resources. Seeing this, Abraham, in his wisdom and generosity, said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me. The whole land is before you. If you take the left, I'll go right. If you go right, I'll go left." Lot looked up and saw the lush, well-watered plain of the Jordan, which the Bible describes as being like the garden of the Lord. It looked promising, prosperous, and comfortable. So, Lot chose the plain and pitched his tents near the city of Sodom. This single choice would set the stage for everything that followed. Now, Sodom and its sister city, Gomorrah, were infamous. The Bible describes them as places of extreme wickedness, where the cry of injustice had reached the heavens. Lot, however, chose to move from just being near Sodom to living in Sodom. He became a respected citizen, even sitting at the city gate, a place of business and legal proceedings. But 2 Peter 2 verses 7-8 tells us that Lot was a righteous man who was distressed by the depraved conduct of the lawless, and that he was tormented in his righteous soul by the lawless deeds he saw and heard. He was living in a place that deeply troubled his spirit, a classic case of being in the world but struggling not to be of it. The situation in Sodom became so grave that God decided to intervene. Genesis 18 describes a fascinating scene where God, appearing as three men, visits Abraham. During this visit, God reveals his plan to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham, showing incredible compassion, intercedes for the city. He bargains with God, asking if he would spare the city for the sake of 50 righteous people, then 45, then 40, all the way down to just 10. God agrees. If just 10 righteous people could be found, the city would be spared. This tells us so much about God's mercy and his desire to save, not destroy. But alas, not even 10 could be found. So, God sent 2 angels to Sodom to rescue Lot and his family. They arrived in the evening and found Lot at the city gate. True to his hospitable nature, Lot insisted they stay at his house rather than in the city square. That night, the wickedness of the city was put on full display. The men of Sodom surrounded Lot's house, demanding that he bring out his guests. It was a terrifying moment. Lot, trying to protect his guests, offered a desperate and tragic alternative, showing just how much the city's culture had influenced his thinking. The angels intervened, striking the men outside with blindness and pulling Lot back into the safety of the house. The angels then gave Lot a clear and urgent command: "Get your family and flee this place, for the Lord is about to destroy it." Lot rushed to his sons-in-law, who were engaged to his daughters, and urged them to leave. But they thought he was joking. They couldn't see the danger. Their hearts and minds were too attached to Sodom's way of life. This is a powerful reminder of how difficult it can be to warn those who are spiritually blind to the consequences of their choices. As dawn broke, the angels grew more insistent. "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." But Lot hesitated. Think about it. He was leaving behind his home, his wealth, his social standing, everything he had built. The Bible says, when he hesitated, the men grasped his hand and the hands of his wife and of his 2 daughters and led them safely out of the city, for the Lord was merciful to him. This is a crucial detail. Lot was saved not by his own strength or decisiveness, but by the direct, merciful intervention of God. God literally pulled him out of danger. Once they were outside, the command was simple and direct: flee for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away. But even then, Lot negotiated. He pleaded to go to a small nearby town called Zoar instead of the mountains, and God graciously granted his request. Then came the moment of judgment. Genesis 19 verse 24 says, "Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah. From the Lord out of the heavens, the entire plain was destroyed." It was a cataclysmic event, a stark and fiery end to a culture of depravity. But the story doesn't end there. In the midst of this divine rescue, we have one of the most tragic moments in the entire Bible. The angels had given one explicit instruction: don't look back. Yet, as they were fleeing, Genesis 19 verse 26 tells us, "But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt." Why did she look back? The Bible doesn't explicitly say, but we can infer. Perhaps it was a longing for the life she was leaving behind. Her friends, her home, her possessions, her heart was still in Sodom. Her gaze backward was a symbol of her divided loyalty. Jesus himself referenced this in Luke 17, saying, "Remember Lot's wife," as a warning against being too attached to the things of this world. The story concludes on an even more somber note. Lot and his 2 daughters, having left Zoar out of fear, ended up living in a cave in the mountains, the very place God originally told them to go. In that isolation, his daughters, believing they were the last people on earth and desperate to preserve their family line, made a terrible decision. Their actions led to the birth of 2 sons, Moab and Ben-Ammi, who became the ancestors of the Moabites and Ammonites, 2 nations that would often be in conflict with Israel. It's a sad and disturbing end to the story, showing how the corrupting influence of Sodom followed them even out of the city's ashes. So, what are the key takeaways from the life of Lot? First, the danger of compromise. Lot started by pitching his tent near Sodom but ended up living in it. His slow drift toward a corrupt culture cost him dearly. It is a warning for us to be mindful of the environments we choose and the influences we allow into our lives. Second, the incredible mercy of God. Despite Lot's hesitation and poor choices, God actively rescued him. The angels literally had to drag him to safety. This shows that God's grace is persistent, even when our faith is weak. He is willing to reach into our messy situations to pull us out. And third, the tragedy of a divided heart, personified by Lot's wife. We cannot move forward into the future God has for us if we are constantly looking back with longing at a past He has called us to leave behind. Lot's story is a complex tapestry of faith, failure, divine judgment, and profound mercy. It serves as a timeless reminder to choose our path wisely, to trust in God's saving grace, and to never, ever look back. Thank you for joining us on TIV's Media. What are your thoughts on the story of Lot? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel,